Hey everybody, welcome back behind the bar. It's a weird setup, but we're on kids' toys and stuff. It's weird. In Oz's basement again, we're doing a brew night tonight, and I wanted to share beer with the boys. Surprised them a little bit. They probably could have assumed I might bring one. But managed to get a hold of a couple bottles of maybe the beer that's talked about the most right now in craft beer world, X10 by Toppling Goliath. Barrel-aged stout they did a silent release of during their anniversary party last weekend. So managed to get a hold of them. There's no confirmation on what this beer is or what it's made of, but I was told by somebody that I trust that it is a blend of their favorite barrels from this last year's Assassin and the 4-year barrels they used for SR71 with vanilla beans added. So I don't know if it sounds much better than that. Pours like syrup. Let's get a little bit of that on camera. Taking a boss pour. I'll pass it around a little bit. So I'll drop that. There's so much hype. This was less than 1,000 bottles. There was a lot of drama on this. Don't Drink Beer posted a post about it from a buddy of mine. It got crazy. People are trading its value, whatever. It's nuts. But I've heard good things about the beer itself, which nobody's fucking talked about to this point. So I figured I would do a review of it. Pouring it out, it looks like a TG stout, which is a very unique style of stout. And my favorites, as you know, I just posted a 2-year vert video of KBBS yesterday. Today, for timing, US just beat France, women's national team, which was awesome. But we're brewing tonight, so we're going to celebrate. So we're going to dive into this. Literally no carbonation. I mean, there's a little bit, but it is dead in the glass. It looks like oil, looks like wine. It's pitch black. So let's dive into the nose. So in fairness, right before this, because I wanted my palate to be kind of acclimated and a little bit up against a fairly good stout, we drank barrel-aged sump actually, which is sitting right here. This year's barrel-aged sump. So I kind of wanted to do that beforehand so that I had something to compare, a beer that I know really well, and see what I thought. This is huge barrel. This is big vanilla, big dark fruit, big I get some chocolate, a little bit of that Fig Newton note. It smells huge though, like you're not searching for anything. Everybody's around me sniffing it, and it's really creepy because I'm talking about it while they're doing it. It actually smells a lot like this year's Assassin to me, which I had a couple weeks ago, the 19 Assassin. It is just, it's big barrel, big oak, big tannins. I don't get much vanilla, which I was told this is still a little colder than I kind of wanted it to be, but it's not fridge temp. But it smells huge. It smells like a big barrel-aged stout, which is what I like about TG. So I want to drink it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Cheers, gents. I'll say it's oil, mouthfeel wise. I don't get much vanilla though, which I will say. It is a big fucking beer though. I don't know what the ABV on this is. It's not going to be on the bottle because Iowa doesn't give 2 fucks. And my phone's recording this. But I guess it's in like the 12 to 14 range. Which is what, wow, this Assassin wouldn't have it either. This beer stays. Like, it is sticky on my teeth. Thick, thick, thick. I do get a little more vanilla the more that I drink it. There's a nice sweet finish to it that is huge, like enormous. This is one of the most mouth-coating beers I've ever had. Like, it is. I'm trying to think of what beer I think it was KBS that I drank that, like, in a review I was watching, that it was just like, man. So just, if you want a barrel-aged stout, this is a barrel-aged stout. It is tannins. It is vanilla. There's not a lot, like, not much roast from the stout. You can tell it's a big beer. The vanilla is there subtly. I'm curious as to how this is going to go as it gets warmer. I actually may stop this video and then record more here in a bit as it warms up. but I can say, like, holy shit, this is a really fucking good beer. For a barrel-aged stout, like, with a little vanilla sweetness, like, for people that are into more traditional stouts that aren't, like, pastry vanilla, where it's, like, huge, overwhelming vanilla, this is not that. It's definitely in the background of a huge fucking barrel stout. This beer is really, really, really good. I'm going to say my final opinion. I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to record more here in probably, like, 20 minutes and give a final rating, but cold, it's freaking amazing. So we're back, and it's been 20 minutes, 20? I don't know. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. I've drank some of it. I will say this is one of those beers that, here's how I'll describe it. For people that have had TG stouts, this is very, very SR Batch 2-esque, especially as it warms. When it was cold, this is very 16 Assassin. Probably this Assassin Orange Wax. When it was really cold. But as it warms, the vanilla comes out, gets a little thicker on the mouthfeel. Man, I get the hiccups bad when I'm drinking. It is very, I described this to the person sitting right here. That SR Batch 1 for me versus Batch 2, the main difference was the dark fruit element of Batch 2 was replaced in Batch 1 by like toasted marshmallow and vanilla. Whereas this, Trevor just emailed us, by the way. Sorry. Personal email popped up on my screen and he got it as well. This tastes like SR Batch 2 with a little added sweetness. A little bit of vanilla. This is not a vanilla forward beer though. This apparently has vanilla in it. You get it a little bit, but there's not a lot here. If you want to compare this to a beer, this is like SR Batch 2, which is why I think that it was interesting. A lot of people on Untapped compared it to SR Batch 2. I think if I had SR Batch 2 next to this, I'm not sure cold I would have been able to tell the difference. As it warms and the vanilla comes out, it's right there. This is a huge beer. As far as my favorite Toppling beers go, it's definitely in the top 5, I would say. I'm probably SR Batch 1, KBBS. I'm just going to make a line item for KBBS because all of the batches have been amazing. But those beers are not barrel forward. This is very barrel forward. This is probably right below that though. I mean, this year's Assassin I loved. We drank it next to Maman and Beautiful Meadows barrel aged from Modern Times, Monsters Park. And it was the best. I think this is right above that. I think it's a very similar beer with vanilla. Where this is going to end up, right now it's trading about $400 to $500. I think that's fair. I could see this going up because it is a low release bottle. I think it's worth having. I think this is going to age phenomenally. My other bottles I'm not going to touch for a long time. So, but I'm not going to trade them, if that tells you anything. So, all TG stouts rate hundreds for me, and I'm going to leave that one in the same category. Because for what this beer is, it's exactly, from what I know about how it was made, it's exactly what that beer should taste like, and that's what this beer is. So, we'll leave it there, guys. I don't know what this does for this beer, this value. When Joe and I reviewed SR71 Batch 1, the beer tripled in value within like 4 months. So I don't know if that'll do this for this. I doubt it. But I'm going to be one of the few that everybody can see and understand where I'm going with this for a 10-minute review. And that's why I wanted to do it. So one last drink just to make sure. This beer is like drinking oil. Although as you drink more of it, you kind of acclimate to what it does to your mouth. But I mean, this is just a huge, huge barrel-aged stout with a little vanilla finish. I mean, does not suck. No. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming behind the bar. Thank you for the likes, subscribes, and comments. Till next time. Cheers.
Pre-pouring? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we're pre-pouring. So while he's doing that, hey everybody, welcome back behind the bar.
Motor oil.
We're doing a group review tonight.
This class sucks.
Kind of off the wall. We're enjoying some
someone's
beers
got a key for it.
tonight,
That's
and we decided we were going to drink a big beer
We're in Chicago.
in Chi-Town with Mr. Brian Krajak.
From Forbidden Road.
Bitten Room.
Is that true?
I mean,
Do you go
guy.
Mike or Mike?
Mike's fine.
Mike's with us as well. So this is hyped right now.
This is pure hype
AF.
train.
So you and I have done a lot of toppling reviews together, but at X10 silent release, everybody by now, we don't really need to break it down too much. So this is supposedly a blend of Assassin and SR barrels with some vanilla. Everybody's saying could be hyped, could be not, could be whatever.
I'm drinking Curvature. This is on the side.
Of course.
We've drank so many beers in the last 2 hours that this may be a shit show, but we're just gonna dive in. So it's toppling beer, poured like motor oil. Let's just dive in.
It's got the whole toppling brown stained glass thing too.
Stains
It
it.
does that.
Gives you that thickness. Looks amazing in the glass.
Yeah, it does.
Look at that AB InBev glass where you got.
So we let this.
I actually get offered a ton of money for these glasses because
Why?
they're not hard to come by.
Really?
They're
So,
very hard to come by. I'm sorry.
In fairness, this beer, I've had this beer. We let it warm up quite a bit
Yeah.
before we drink it because that seems to be the consensus with it. But let's dive in and see what she smells like, ladies and gentlemen. So
That's
it's
what this guy says.
it's really funny because we drank that triple barrel Bourbon County earlier.
Yeah. Light 18 point.
18.8.
This has that same like sweet.
Yeah.
Like
chocolatey note.
yeah. There's
How's
even-
Chicago going first?
Chicago's amazing. I love Chicago.
Just want to point that out there.
Chicago's fantastic.
Yeah, so in fairness, everybody watching this probably knows at least three of us. You're new to everything. But the first time the three of us have ever been together,
Yeah.
which is crazy. We've done the podcast together.
Mm-hmm.
And then invite really cool people to join us.
Yeah, exactly.
This has like I'm not gonna lie. This has like a dark fruity kind of a sweetness to it.
It does.
Super
Rach,
big dark
what do you
fruit.
think?
Huge.
Don't say you don't smell that.
Yes, I do. I mean, it honestly tastes like
Smells.
like a huge, well done Bourbon County beer. Not that it's not that well. I'm saying like the old school, like back in the day, the 12s, the 11s, and everything that was like crazy.
I don't think it has that fudgy note to it though.
Well,
It's more like
More
sweet.
dark fruit as
yeah,
opposed to
chocolate.
This is really sweet smelling. I was not expecting that.
Sweet and it's dark.
that old
Yeah.
BCS has that to me.
So compared to you have had Assassin and SR,
So
which are fudgier.
Assassin was straight like chocolate.
fudge.
This, I don't know.
It's a different smell, right?
It's really sweet smelling.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
All right. Well, we're all here to drink this.
Yeah.
I will say, what's the ABV on this?
It's about
good question.
12 and a half,
It
I
doesn't
think.
smell boozy.
It's Iowa, so they don't put it
They
on the
don't
label.
put it.
So
Oh,
since
that's
it's
right. Hey, Toppling Goliath, fuck you.
Yeah, I was just saying, since it's not,
I've
since
done
it's
this
not an
before.
IPA, do we have to whine about
Hey,
a can date?
we
or-
did this with Dark Lord. Put the fucking ABV on the beer.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Safety first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's over 12%.
Okay.
So-
I mean, it doesn't smell hot, but it's really dominant, like dark
So
fruity.
for anybody, and I know you've had it, like the more recent Assassins had been more dark fruit forward.
Right.
Good barrel, but smell is way huge dark fruit.
Don't you remember when Eric and Barry did the
Purple
purple wax? They
16.
were like, I think this is infected. It's super sweet, dark fruity. But
And since then, 16's drinking amazing
really,
right now.
yeah.
But early on, it was just young.
That's
fun
really
how
all this
those
is.
change.
Like, this is really like. There's nothing really else to it. It's really, really sweet.
So, new guy?
You were talking about maple, right?
What do you think?
No, I didn't think you
No,
Oh,
I
you're
think it's
talking
just
about-
a lot of
Yeah.
really sweet
It
and
is.
dark fruit for
Well,
sure.
I mean, we
not
just-
not as chocolatey as I thought.
What was the Dark Lord variant we just drank?
We just drank Lodestar, which was
Which-
diabetes coconut.
But this kind of
Huge
this
sweet
sort of
coconut.
like smells like that sweetness. It's
No.
just, no, come on,
I give that Dark Lord sweetness is like second, but like that is like
stop.
Crazy.
This smells
Right.
fucking sweet.
no, it doesn't.
You're
matter.
trying. Like this is your hype getting into your head right now.
No, it's not because I don't think it's so sweet.
because you don't want it.
That's
to be.
hot take Joe.
You don't want it to be that sweet.
I
I told
don't.
you. He's gonna give it
So if you're,
hundreds.
I'm gonna say this: if you're just drinking this,
I don't think.
if you're drinking this as a pure barrel aged,
Oh wow, that's Barry. Sorry.
Oh wow, that's Barry. He says.
Cut off Nate. Nate.
No, I'm just saying
Oh.
is a pure barrel aged out. If I didn't tell you it had anything in it, because we can't confirm any of that. It's just a rare.
I don't think this
toppling.
has any like barrel aged characteristics to it, does it? Like, is it woody? No. What barrels is it aged in?
What do you
So it's SR barrels. So SR batch 2 basically, and then Assassin barrels.
Right, but what are
Blended.
what are the barrels? Like this
I don't
doesn't have any like. There's no spirit to it. It doesn't
I
have
mean, it's
like.
bourbon barrel.
Yeah, it's a bourbon. Yeah.
You get a little
You get
bourbon.
it.
But it's not like a.
It's like a blackberry brownie to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's sweet. It doesn't have like that spirit kind of bite
to
that
me,
you get on a barrel.
yeah, I
aged
get
beer.
that. I mean, to me, a little bit berry doesn't always have to be sweet. Like berry can be like very fruit, like wine aspects of it instead of
Yeah.
like the sweeter.
So I will say,
It's got that fudgy brown,
I'm gonna
but
be-
it's not huge.
I
I'm
don't
gonna be
think it's fudgy.
completely honest. This tastes completely
Really
different from the
Really?
last bottle I
I
had.
figured you were
Completely
that.
different.
This
Yeah.
doesn't. You say fudgy. I don't get fudgy from this. I get sweet, like it could be like a chocolate covered kind of fruit something, but it's more fruit dominant than anything.
I'm super surprised there's not an adjunct of fruit, to be totally honest. It's really fruity. You got it in the nose, I didn't as much. This is pretty fruity.
I mean, listen, you and I drank SR and
Assassin.
Assassin. If you gave this to me blind and tell me, I would never be able to like, oh yeah, this tastes like Assassin or SR.
So my thing with SR Batch 2 was that it was straight dark fruit. Like straight.
Batch 2.
Dark fruit.
We had batch 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which was but still my
Amazing.
favorite barrel
Yeah,
aged that I've ever
that beer
had.
is amazing.
Batch 2, when I drank it, because we drank it side by side with Batch 1, it was night and day. This has that toppling characteristic now that kind of creeps in.
I will say the mouthfeel of this is great. It's thick.
That's
It's like
fine.
a full.
I mean,
that's
I
very
actually,
full
I
texture.
freaking love it, but I also love the berry stouts.
Right,
I
right.
love like not the super sweet ones. Like the Bramble this year was insane.
But
So,
when
but
we-
like, this is good.
Remember when we drank Bramble at my house like 4 years ago? This kind of reminds
Yes.
me of that.
A little bit. Agreed. But if I told you this was supposed to have vanilla in it.
Never.
That's
No,
crazy.
there's
Not a
no
chance.
vanilla
There's no
sweetness.
vanilla.
Exactly.
Right?
Whereas the first bottle I had was a vanilla bomb.
Was it?
It's I don't know where the berry's coming from because clearly the base beer wouldn't have that.
It's yeast. It's a yeast profile. So when you get dark, for me, when you get dark fruit in a stout, it's a yeast temperature thing. So you either are fermenting too hot, too cold. Usually it's too hot,
Right.
and that's what happens. Again, not a huge problem. This again, as everybody said, this beer is thick.
Right.
Yeah, I would
Mouth feels
I would
amazing.
drink this all day.
Right.
Yeah.
I would not. I'm not going to get it right. Like I would not think that this is. This doesn't compare with some of the great, the big time barrel aged stouts that are out.
I'd rather drink. Honestly, this is me. I'd rather drink the more recent batch of Assassin than
Yes.
I mean, the only Assassin I've ever had was 2014, and
Which
that
is
beer was fucking straight
which is insane.
brownies. Which
It's
was,
the
that
it's the
beer was
best
so
Assassin
good.
I've ever had.
This is not nowhere near that.
There's no chocolate.
No, it's
in
not.
This one.
That doesn't have that fudginess to it.
But I feel like we're always a lot of times we're always comparing whales to whales, where it's just like shit. If you
Correct.
just gave me this, people were able to line up, buy as many as they want. Really, if you had the cash, the ATM was the problem, which is kind of hilarious when you think about it for the story. But I mean, what was it, $20? When you talk about in that rate,
40.
it was 40. Oh shit, that's
That's
a lot. But
the secondary,
it's cheaper than rare.
I'm saying the
That's
secondary.
true.
Secondary originally, this was like an $800-900
Which is
bottle.
not,
Beer, not a
yeah.
fucking chance.
No, it's down to $200-300 already, right?
3-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I would not tell anyone it's a must-have.
You have to like dark fruity stouts
Right.
to like this beer, in my opinion.
Even though Lodestar was extremely sweet, I enjoyed the flavor of that more than.
I think there was
this.
more layers of flavor in that beer than this. This
was
is
more
very
complex
one
for
Well,
note.
you because
I-
you think this misses the barrel.
I
Well,
just-
that had barrel big
but I
time.
feel like this is kind of one note sweet, kind of berry
Yeah.
stout. I don't know.
It's all
I
in the
don't-
front too.
It is
Right.
surprising.
It's all in the
And I don't want to hate on this beer.
If
It's-
somebody came out and said this
Be
is
honest
this is
with
a bramble rye or something
I would-
or whatever, you're like,
right.
oh, cool,
Yeah.
you got it, not rye, but you don't get any rye, but you know what I mean.
It
Bramble
doesn't have that
bourbon.
spiciness to it, but it has that berry thing to it.
But even this year's Bramble, I thought had more
This
berry
year's
notes than this.
this year's Bramble is a train wreck.
Yeah. But it can age. They built a lot of those to age. The vanillas they
That's why I
age.
haven't touched any of the bottles I
Yeah,
bought.
right. Because we drank a shit ton on that Wednesday before. So,
I don't really remember that day.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me that this, like when this beer first got dropped, like the hype with it. No.
But here's the thing: when you're brewing really big batches of beers
Right.
like this, the inconsistency can be insane. So
100%.
when I drank this the first time,
Yeah, speak to the
I
first
got
time.
no dark fruit.
Really?
No.
You get dark fruits in this, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely different beer.
Yeah.
So then was it more a sweet vanilla?
No, barrel,
Just barrel
Barrel,
and then slight
barrel
vanilla.
forward and some vanilla.
Yeah.
So
I don't get any barrel
No.
like in this at all.
and again, I've had this beer twice now in 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
it's not even close to
it's
the
crazy.
Again, there's definitely barrel there. It's not crazy barrel, but there's got that rounded bourbonness. Actually, it's kind of what I like, but it's fruit dominant, which is actually pretty nuts.
Yeah.
What are you gonna grade it?
You know I'm not grading. You guys grade.
No, actually, none of us do anymore. So,
Wait,
So-
you don't?
no.
I haven't seen a video from these guys in a while.
Hey, thanks for the
My bad.
Hashtag thanks for the support. Here's what it comes down to for me. I've had this beer a few times. Would I trade for it again based on what I've given up and everything to do it again? Probably not. Mainly because for this, less than this beer, I could get Assassin 19. I've had that beer twice, and each time it was phenomenal. So I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's me. It's easier to get. It's easier.
And you could do a BA like coffee shop vibes for this, right? Easy, right?
So yeah, I mean, so Assassin, like I traded 1-to-1 for Maman 18.
Yeah.
So I got my Assassin for it.
Mod 18 was amazing.
And
Great.
I liked Assassin better. So
Oh, yeah.
that's my thing. So
There's so much out there.
it is. There's a ton available.
Mendy 19 was.
This is going to be a weird review because I have recorded a review for this already that was way different than this.
I feel like you should post both.
I think you should post both.
Yeah.
But it shows bottle variation. It's like people that trade for like Maman 16 that was infected. You might get the best beer you ever had, and you might get
Right.
trash.
Honestly,
I had the
Like
infected
what
one.
was all the stouts we had today that tasted like pennies?
Don't even say it. That's
Honestly,
ridiculous.
if I
Inside joke.
if I was gonna put a number on this beer, it'd be like 92, 93. I wanted it to be like mind blowing, and it's too very dark fruits for me.
Agreed.
But I'm comparing that to Assassin and SR that we
Again,
drink.
so it's a perspective thing.
Right.
So when you're saying
I'm comparing it against other toppling stouts that we've had. I've had
Correct.
KBBS with you.
this is your least favorite topic,
By far the least
Yeah,
favorite.
even compared to like
And
Morning
it's not
Delight.
even fun. Morning Delight Batch 2 was 100 times better.
So Morning Delight that we drank for KBBS.
That kind of had that kind of
But it
pepper
was
thing,
bitter,
but
but
it
didn't
wasn't.
come through until after we drank KBBS.
Right.
But still better than this then.
I
So if you had to give up $325
Never.
for beer,
what say that one time?
$325 worth of beer.
No.
Not for this.
Okay, that's the point.
I would save my money and get the Modern Times Ultra set.
Which
Well,
hashtag
fanboy.
You know, Modern Times, I said it a year ago, best brewery in the country.
Oh, it's my favorite.
It's unbelievable. Shelf beers to all the whales and everything in between. It's fantastic.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm
Well,
disappointed
yeah.
by this beer, but this is when you said it was a blend of SR and Assassin. Like I don't get either one of those beers in this. It doesn't bum me out, but I was just like I was waiting for like this amazing.
I agree.
There were certain expectations
This bottle,
we had.
the bottle,
Right,
the
right,
bottle
right,
that you have
right.
might
But
be way
again,
better than this.
that's the thing though, is that it's
Right.
all circumstance, it's
Yeah.
all conditions. Like again, so whoever I got this bottle from is different than who I got the first
Right.
bottle from.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
So in that transit, it could have been different. It could have been everything.
What did they do
I
with
was
it?
trying to be honest.
I don't know, but it changed it into a completely different beer. So if you're going to do this, if you have it,
Buyer
enjoy
beware,
it.
right? It's kind of just move at your own risk.
I
Trade for it
guess.
if you want to.
I guess.
If you want a ticket. But I don't know. I wouldn't-
So one of my bottles I gave up BVC for, which is about the same. I
What's
wish I would've-
BBC again?
the Cycle side project collab.
Oh, yeah.
And I wish I would have kept. I still have one left, but I wish I would have kept the BBC.
Mm.
So we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was
I mean,
a.
honest
yeah.
beer review.
Hey, thank you for sharing, Nate.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
man,
just-
thanks.
Listen.
I share really good beers though.
Yeah.
Oh, you always do.
Not as good as the
Curvature's
night.
better.
Not as
so-
good. Not as good as the night we did BBT and barely.
No, that was amazing.
But we'll drink good beers tonight. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming on the bar. This is why we do this.
Yeah, it's fun.
So trade for it or not. So thanks for the likes, subscribes, and
Yeah.
comments. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yep.
Cheers.
Happy 45th birthday to Craze.
So we're gonna.
By the way, your nickname is Craze Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. This is Rumblements. We are going to taste this and give it a rating. I think I know where it's already going to be, but we'll do it together. So either yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's a 0.0.
That is 100 out of 100 every time. The greatest shot that's ever lived. Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.